Happy Friday, everybody. Welcome to E2G Sports Patriots preview for a preseason game between the Carolina Panthers and the New England Patriots. I lost Sara at that moment in time. We're live at the Airport Grille right now. Come down and join us. There'll be gift cards later on for trivia and game on, and it's a good time. Way to enjoy your Friday night at a great locale. How you doing, Sara, now that you're back?
I know. Sorry. I don't know what just happened. I'm doing good. I'm excited to watch the game.
Yeah, it's we're going to get to see the starters against the 2s and the 3s for Carolina. So we'll see what's going on there, if they can light it up against these guys and really show what this offense is supposed to be with the Shanahan crew. So we know who is playing. We're going to wait on who is out.
Yeah.
We'll come back to those things. Bad blood in joint practices between the Pats and the Panthers. Personally, do you think this goes back to Mac Jones and Brian Burns last year in November in Carolina?
I feel like that's an easy answer. Like, that would be the easiest thing to think. But according to Jones, they talked it out like months ago and they were fine. And they even spoke during the practices this past week. So I feel like if they really put that to bed, then I feel like that is likely not it. I don't know. It seemed very out of character for the Patriots to do that. Like, these little scuffles happen from time to time. It's not like the Patriots are immune to that happening. But to the degree that they went on Tuesday and Wednesday was ridiculous. I mean, the fact that Wilkerson was literally knocked out and had to go to the hospital for, an evaluation for a concussion, and then that's ended up what happened. Like, that's taking it too far. And from what was reported, there really wasn't a whole lot that would have escalated it to that level. It seemed like they were just chirping at each other and whatever, and then apparently that led to brawls. It was very confusing to me.
Yeah, Dietrich Wise taking Christian McCaffrey to the ground.
Yeah.
I saw the hit. It was a pretty good hit. And he threw the football at him. And next thing you know, they're in first and second row of the crowd fighting. And I adopted Jabril Peppers as my favorite player because instead of punching somebody in the helmet, he's throwing body blows. Good for you, Jabril Peppers, for outthinking the situation. Jersey's on order. Thank you for doing all you do.
Yeah, I know that some people really love it when they hear about these fights because it's like, okay, they're passionate, like whatever. And sometimes it's like, yeah, but it's just, of course, you don't want to hear about any player getting seriously injured from it. And I think that's the story that they ran with, because it was like dominating the news, of course, in New England that they had all these fights on Tuesday. Then the fact that it continued again on Wednesday probably wouldn't be something worth talking about if the Wilkerson injury didn't happen. I feel like that's just kind of like the cherry on top of making it super dramatic and unnecessary. And of course, Matthew Slater didn't like it. And I always say, if Matthew Slater is upset, then he really did something wrong.
Yeah. I'm going to let you try to refresh because we're getting every other word. No, to hear both Matt Slater and Mike Reese angry on the same day. Yes. Mike Reese and Matt Slater being angry on the same day, that probably should have played the lottery that day, because that's
right.
Two people who you don't see usually throwing words around. Mike Reese even referred to it as junk. He went that deep. That's the equivalent of us setting people on fire for Mike Reese.
Yeah.
So.
And their opinions are the ones that you take more seriously, because, I think we've talked about it before, where when Mike Reese says something, then it's serious, because he doesn't talk like that ever. If anything, he tries to be very neutral.
But by my ear?
Huh? I did. I saw the airplane.
Okay.
He tries to remain pretty neutral, obviously realistic, but when he says something either one way or the other, then you take it seriously, rather than the ones that are just consistently coming up with something negative to say. So, it was just unfortunate, you know. Hopefully,
Yeah,
my main thing too is hopefully it doesn't continue tonight. That's a big thing. It's like hopefully it was put to bed on Wednesday, and tonight now that they're playing, it's like let's not bring any of that energy in the game.
yeah. So two people like that being upset. You don't see Matt Slater get off, and I lost you for a second. You stopped, so I just.
Oh, is it me?
I don't
Should I
know
come
what your
back?
internet feed is.
Okay, let me
Yeah,
check
why don't
out.
you try that?
Okay, I'll come right back.
All right, you're listening to Ear to the Ground Sports, E2G Sports, live from the Airport Grille in New Bedford. Come on down, watch the game, have some drinks, some food. Great staff on hand. You can even sit outside at the tiki bar and, as you saw, a plane go by my head and watch the planes come in and come out. You can't really top that for an appearance. And the game will be kicking off at 7. The pregame is at 6:30 on the Patriots TV network. So we'll be done before that. We're not going to try to step on them. They're good. There's no reason to try to compete with them. There you are.
I'm back.
Lost her again. All right. So what is Mac Jones's ideal night tonight? He comes out of the game and he's done this. I'll wait till they're happy. But what is his ideal night?
I would say good passes downfield. Hopefully he can stand upright for most of the game. I think we've had a lot of focus on the offensive line struggles, so hopefully he's able to be protected. I know that's kind of like not on him, but I'm just hoping that we can keep him upright. And a successful run game is something that I want to see too, because that's another aspect that's been struggling with the offense. So I want to see a good night of the offense. I'm curious to see how much of the new playbook we're going to see, because we didn't see a whole lot of that against the Giants. And yeah, just seeing him, take command, be that leader, feel comfortable, confident with what he's doing. That's what I want to see the most.
All right. So if we're looking, I'm just looking at the front. Derek Brown's probably not playing. Brian Burns is probably not playing. Yatur, Gross Matos, the kid from Penn State. Iodonis, who they started. It's going to be guys that they drafted later, who they really want to see develop into those backward up roles. Davian Nixon, Bravion Roy, who's a big nose tackle type, and Phil Hoskins. And the guy I liked, Amari Barno, I was hoping we'd draft him out of Va-Tech, kind of a smaller edge rusher, like a Brian Burns. But sorry, I'm not a Brian Burns fan. I think he's better than Brian Burns.
Ooh.
I'm not a Brian Burns fan. And that goes back to a lot of tweet beef with people. Getting it shoved in my face. He was Rookie of the Month in September. And then, where was he in October, November, December? Why does he sit on run plays? He's a 3-down player. Let's see it.
Yeah.
So that's always been my stance. That's a hill I'm going to die on. So looking at the New England, sorry.
I was going to say it's always good to find a hill that you're willing to die on, because Twitter comes for you over those.
Oh yeah,
not just you, me too.
Like the 3 Carolina Panthers fans in the world came after me. So I will. I'm sorry. Did I say that out loud? We have a comment. I'm just trying to see what it is. Sarah, what's your thoughts on Watson decision?
Oh, I don't want to get too into it. But if you kind of want to see how I'm feeling, I would watch the video that Kyle Brandt posted of himself on his Twitter this morning from Good Morning Football. Basically what he has to say is how I feel about it. I mean, I think it's one of those things where, the NFL does something, you're not shocked, but you're disappointed. That's just kind of how it is. So, and unfortunately nothing can change now. It is what it is. So, but yeah, look up Kyle Brandt. He posted a video of his thoughts from Good Morning Football on the situation. That's basically how I feel.
I'm not happy with the 11 games, but you know what I like about it?
Mm-hmm.
You know what that 12th game is?
The Texans.
At Houston.
Mm-hmm.
That's a pretty good punishment to come back to right there.
I mean, but see, I don't feel like it was a punishment. To me, it was a business decision. They did that on purpose. 11 is such a random number. It's like, no, you purposely wanted him back because you wanted that to be a big game. And to me, that's trash. Because it's like,
it's Houston and Cleveland, so
yeah, but it's just like, I don't know. I don't know. It's again, I'm not shocked. It's just disappointing.
Yeah, no, I'm still very disappointed. Should have been a year to a year and a half suspension easily and more money.
Mm-hmm.
But if it is going to be shorter and there was a deal cut, it's a good way to do it because he's going to fly there, get off the plane there, and be there for 27, 28 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Let him suffer.
Yeah.
Let him feel it. Thanks for the question, Another Lost Soul. It's a great name.
His name is Jeff, but yes.
Oh, so, Jeff, okay.
Yes, he's followed me from Dear Pats Nation, so I had to remember his real name.
Roster battles, New England Patriots. We're probably going to see all the wide receivers tonight.
Mm-hmm.
I got a question I want to ask you.
Okay.
Do you think little Jordan Humphreys can play himself onto this team?
I don't know because the wide receivers are, it's shockingly an actual competition this year, which is something I don't think that we would have predicted coming into training camp. So I think it's becoming even more difficult for some guys that maybe were higher up, like Trey Nixon was a favorite coming into training camp because of how he performed in OTAs. And now he's kind of bumping down because we're not seeing that same energy, the same production from him that we saw back in May. So it's possible if he has another good game tonight or even a good couple moments, I don't know how much time he will see. I think he becomes an interesting candidate. But I did see, I don't know if it was somebody that was on Twitter that was talking about the idea of him possibly becoming like a tight end. Let me see if I can find the tweet because that was interesting.
Yes, because of his speed.
Mm-hmm.
You know who he is? I keep making the comparison. Do you remember Jason Avant, who played for the Eagles? He was a big slot receiver.
I feel like I remember the name. He went to
Michigan. Mm-hmm. He went to Michigan. At the combine, he ran a 5.00.
Oh, wow.
40. Like, that's not good at all.
Yeah.
And that guy made it in the NFL for multiple teams because he knew how to run routes. He knew how to use his body.
Mm-hmm.
He was good with his hands. And sometimes those things can make up for a little bit of lack of speed. There's too much emphasis sometimes put on that speed.
Yeah. So I found it. So it was Evan Lazar who worked at CLNS Media. He's now a Patriots.com writer. So he wrote, if the Patriots don't feel like their depth tight ends are worthy of the 53-man roster spots, don't be surprised if little Jordan Humphrey makes a push as a jumbo slot/move tight end. Humphrey played a little detached wide tight end in the preseason opener out of necessity. We'll see if he has the blocking chops, but he runs the seam better than Devin Asiasi and Matt Sokol. So, I mean, it's already being tossed out. I know people talked about it even with N'Keal Harry, and we're thinking maybe he would be switched to tight end. I don't know. But Hunter Henry is injured. Jonnu Smith, I know that they're trying to push him into a second-year jump and have him more involved in the offense overall. And then they did just bring back, or they brought in a rookie tight end. What's his name?
Oh,
Jalen Whittemire. Yeah.
Yeah, the kid from Texas A&M. Had
so
a big
they
game
have
against
him,
Alabama last year.
Yeah, so he was with the Bills. So it's possible. I don't know. I mean, this is the time this week and next week would be the time to see if they like him enough, but they're not sure if he could make it for a wide receiver. They should test him in those areas, especially with Henry injured. So that would be interesting, though.
There were people before the season last year
mm-hmm.
who thought Whittemire was going to be the best tight end out of this draft.
Out of 20, was he drafted? He was drafted this year, right? Yeah.
Was not good for him.
Yeah.
I think he was
Well,
undrafted free agent. The Bills signed. He was at Texas A&M.
oh, okay. I mean, that would be great if they could find a spot for him. I think that it would be important to have another guy as a tight end that you can actually get production out of, because they have had absolutely no luck with Asiasi or Dalton Keene. So, I mean, and he would be cheap because he's a rookie. So, I mean, it's not even like a huge investment there either. But we'll have to see.
Air to the Ground Sports live from the Airport Grille in New Bedford. 7 o'clock kickoff for the Patriots game. Come down, food, beverages, great service. You're not really going to watch the whole game. You can go out to the Tiki Bar, watch the planes land. Really nice setup down here. So come on down and enjoy. I had myself a chicken parm a little while ago. It was delicious.
That sounds yummy.
That's how I treated myself today. Yeah. Chicken parm. So
Yum.
that was very good. Now, a lot of the reason for this week, I think, is this. Is Matt Rule probably on the hottest of hot seats in the NFL?
I think so, yeah. And if you ask him, he doesn't necessarily feel that way, I think, which is a little concerning, because I'm like, if everyone is saying this about you, then there might be some substance to it. You know, maybe he's not getting that from ownership, and maybe it's just all speculation by everybody else. But, you know, we talked at the beginning about all the fights and stuff, and it really just kind of feels like, even from last year when the Patriots played them, the Panthers just feel like a very undisciplined team, and that's going to come from the top. That's going to come from Matt Rule. And he just doesn't strike me as like an authoritative, assured head coach guy. And he doesn't have to come out there like a Bill Belichick or something, but he doesn't have that presence that I feel like a head coach needs. I mean, even when they were speaking to him after practice and they were asking him about the fights on Wednesday, it's like he didn't even want to answer anything about it. Mm-hmm. And so it just was really, it's like, well, you need to take ownership over your team's participation in that as well. And Patriots players were answering question after question about it. So why are you, as a coach, like, you're not answering? I don't know.
Do you know do you know who their offensive coordinator is? You're gonna laugh when you hear the answer.
It's McAdoo, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I know, because I was looking into it, like, you know, people were questioning why their starters aren't playing, or that they're not even having Mayfield or Darnold participate tonight. And apparently that's up to McAdoo. So it was McAdoo's decision. It was his idea. He thought that it was a good idea for Matt Corral and Walker to rotate tonight so that they could feel the way it feels to be somewhat unprepared as a backup and just kind of getting thrown to the wolves. And
I like how you said that word.
What?
Unprepared.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So it's like, but then you're having like a legit, allegedly having a quarterback competition for your starter. So it's like, what are they going to do in that? Because, I mean, a lot of teams don't play their starters week 3 either. So what are we doing with Darnold and Mayfield? I don't know.
So that we talked a little bit about some of the Panthers battles to watch, or players to watch on the other side who our starters will be going up against.
Mm-hmm.
DJ Moore, Robbie Anderson. The slot receiver is Terrace Mitchell. Marshall, sorry. We know him from his LSU days. Mm-hmm. He was at Camp Heaven last year. Awful during the season. I don't even know the inactives the game played. Hollywood, Rashard Higgins is going to be one of the guys we'll probably see tonight. He played in Cleveland, Colorado State product. And Andre Roberts is on their roster further down. So those are the type of guys we're going to see. Brandon Zylstra, not Lenny Dykstra. Thank God. But I think the Panthers got the best player in the draft in Ike Ekwonu. He's going to be their left tackle. Probably not going to see him tonight. Mm-hmm. But, you know, he slid to 6. He just looking at this team, it looks like a collection of guys and not a team with no leadership whatsoever.
Yeah, and that's a thing that kind of ties into like what we were just talking about with Matt Rule. It's just like, it just feels like kind of dysfunctional. Like they're not able to lead by example. They're not able to follow that example. So it's kind of like, how do you expect them to be a successful team and come out and win when you don't really have an assertive coach who's, bringing these guys, reeling them in to stop the fighting and, just, I don't know. I mean, not making decisions, kind of wishy-washy, but I mean, I'm not surprised when you have that. And then, like we said, McAdoo, that's going to be really interesting to watch too, because McAdoo and Baker did not gel well in Cleveland. So now they're reunited, and now it's like, that'll be an interesting storyline to watch.
Yeah, McAdoo is just one of those guys in this league. He might be a control coach. It just don't give him too much power.
Yeah.
Same with Matt Rule. Like, you're sticking a group of guys together who just they keep looking at each other like, so what do I do? So what do I do? So what do I do?
Yeah.
But nobody has any clue to what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's a lot of the reason for what happened last week. During these joint practices.
Well, and you know what's weird too is I think it was like Tuesday morning, I think it was, when they were talking to the coaches, and Rule said that him and Belichick had spoken like, oh, we're going to have a no tolerance rule for fighting. And we already said if fighting happens, then they're going to be kicked out of practice. I'm like, why is this a topic though? Like, are you coming in here like expecting fighting? Because the Patriots, again, like, it's very uncharacteristic for them to get into fighting so bad that they have to be ejected. So is this commonplace with the Panthers? Because why is that even a discussion you've had? Because sometimes scuffles happen, but it's usually not that serious. So it just seemed kind of odd to me that was like a point he had to make with Belichick and to the media. I thought that was really weird.
Yeah, he some of his guys came in with an agenda. I think his defensive coordinator was the biggest one, DC Snow. He and him and Belichick were going at it, yelling at each other across the field on the first day.
Yeah, because I mean, the jawing back and forth is something that they deal with all the time. So it's like, obviously that happens during practices, like joint practices. That's going to happen during the game. And yeah, sometimes guys can't handle it, and that's what leads to the fighting. But I mean, this was like they were literally practicing an offensive drill, and the Panthers guys on the sideline are yelling at them. And even like, I think it might have been what you were just saying, that their defensive coordinator was like even getting into it. And I'm just like, well, why is this happening? Like, it's not that serious, guys. Like, why are we doing this? There was nothing that was, nothing that seemed malicious, nothing that seemed intentional, or like, the Patriots didn't seem like they were out there to try and hurt anybody. So it just like, it was very confusing, very confusing.
Yeah. Yes. Here to the Ground Sports live at the Airport Grille, New Bedford. Come on down, get some food, cold beverages.
Send me some French fries.
Yeah, I still got to send you your French fries through the mail.
I'm waiting on those.
Don't ask what happened when they got on the plane.
Okay.
I don't know. With delivery, I mean, UPS is a little weird with this. I already put the ketchup on it, so I hope you like ketchup.
Oh, yes, I do like it like that.
Good to hear. Anybody who has any comments, feel free to join in. We got some more topics to hit on. The running back situation tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think it's Damian, Ramondre, Ty on third down, and probably Pierre Strong late?
That's my guess. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a little of JJ Taylor either, because he's kind of, fallen down the ranks. But I think that's what I want to see, because it seems like that's how it's going to be for game day. And so if we're going to actually get starters in tonight, then I want to see as much of what we would see on, game day as possible. So I am interested to see the dynamic though, like what's going on with Stevenson and Harris, because there was a lot of people talking about Stevenson getting a lot more play. So I'm interested to see if that changes at all, because we know he's been said to be working on his pass catching a lot this offseason. So maybe they're going to implement him more in that role too, which might take some of those plays away from Harris. We'll see.
Could be. Ray with a comment. I'm on the West Coast. Wish I could join you all at the grill.
I am too. I'm in Arizona, so I feel your pain.
Yeah, she's in Arizona. She's closer to you. But
Yes.
It is an airport, right? Pretty convenient.
Mm-hmm.
You can step right off and right to the bar. If you leave now, they close at 11. We can do last call together. So
That'd be perfect
and
timing.
I will buy you a beer for last call, Ray, if you shoot out here. EWB is the airport code here, and expect a few layouts. So I don't know that you'll make it, but thanks for the comment, and maybe another time. Wide receivers we talked about. Tight ends, they went with really one last week. You talked about Jonnu Smith. Is this like the last stand of Dalton Keene and Devin Asiasi in New England?
I feel that's what it's looking like. I don't really know how they could be involved more, because we're not seeing it. So if they were trying to get them more involved, then I feel like we would have been seeing it throughout camp so far. Granted, Keene's been dealing with an injury, and I don't know if Asiasi was at one point. I think he may have, but because I don't think he was at practice every single day. But I just, it seems like they can't figure out how to use them or what their strengths are, or like what they could add to this offense. We're not seeing a whole lot. So, if we're supposed to trust what Belichick is seeing in camp, and that's why we're not seeing it in games, then I would assume it's not looking good for them.
Instead of reading, I should just hit that button. Just learned something new at StreamYard. Mason, you're the first. Congratulations. We'll each answer this. You go first. How long do you feel the starters will play? What position will you be watching?
So I was interested in how long they will play, and I looked into it. So Phil Perry from NBC Sports Boston, he was talking about that. He said in week 2 of the preseason last year against the Eagles that the Patriots started, which would be like 2 series. He said it was technically 3 because a scoring drive for Philly, it was a turnover, so technically It was kind of 3. So they said the offense got 17 total plays. So if we're going to go off of that, then I would say probably along the same lines. With how many injuries we're seeing in camp and in preseason, I can't imagine Belichick trying to push it further than that, because you don't want to risk injury to anybody at this point. I mean, the regular season's only a few weeks away, so that would be pretty terrible.
Mason, I have kind of a weird answer to this. Mine is the first sub-package third down group. I want to see who's on the field and doing what. I want to see what Doug is lined up. I know McCourty's going to be back. I want to see who the corners are on the field. Is Mac Wilson on the field? Who are the rushers? We know Barmore and Judon provide incredible pressure. Who are the guys that assist them? That's going to be a very good watch for me, is seeing that first sub-package group.
Yeah, I'm interested in the corners.
Thank you, Mason. Great guy.
I was going to say, I'm interested in the corners, especially because of the injuries that they've dealt with this week. So we don't have Malcolm Butler. They don't have Jawan Williams. If we're supposed to, be on board, which I am on board, with Jalen Mills being cornerback 1, then I assume he's going to be on the field with the starters. But then who's going to be behind him? Last game, Butler got a lot of plays. Jawan Williams, that's how he got injured. So I'm curious to see how that depth works this week with those 2 gone now. And if we'll see Marcus Jones.
Yeah, definitely. Do you think they have an all Jones formation?
I know. Wouldn't that be cool?
Like that's the name of the group?
Yeah, the Joneses.
Jonathan and Jack outside. Marcus. And that's what they call it, too, when they call it in. Like, go, Malcolm, go. Like,
it's too bad that Matt can't be on the field, too, with them.
right, we'll move to our next question. So what's going to be the big concern for the season? O-line, pass rush, secondary. Another lost soul. Jeff, you said, right?
Yes. For me, it's
Okay,
offensive
I retain
line.
information.
The offensive line, because that's so important for the offense success in general. So if they're not protecting Mac, not good. If they're not opening up holes for the running backs, that's not good. So for me, that being the biggest concern out of training camp so far is my biggest worry. The secondary has looked okay, and the pass rush has looked a lot better than most people expected. So before tonight's game, at least, I'm saying offensive line for me.
All right, for me, I want to see that pass rush grouping, because if that pass rush can be good, it's going to make those young corners better.
Mm-hmm.
And both Marcus and Jack Jones are ball hunters. They go after the pick. We said Jack Jones could have had like 4 of them last week.
Yeah.
It's absolutely ridiculous. He just the way he played, and they really researched him back to USC and leaving there and finding out what the situation was, and 3 visits.
Mm-hmm.
So he was definitely on their radar. So I'm excited to see him, and I'm impressed with what Jalen Mills has done.
Mm-hmm.
Is the number 1 corner, kind of. And Mitchell had the peanut punch last week. So we'll see. Next comment. Brian Martin. How we doing, Brian? Don't be a stranger. Just excited to see the linebackers and sub-linebackers.
Mm-hmm. I feel like there's so much to look forward to. Like, if I had to pick just one, I just can't. Like, there's just so much changing this year, and so many younger guys that are either rookies or guys that didn't have a whole lot of play last year, whether it was from injury or what. But I think there's a lot to look forward to, and there's a lot of questions. And so it's like, I can't just pick, just one section of the team to be focused on. There's just so much to watch for.
So they were saying early downs, just line up. Mac Wilson is pretty much on the field all 3 downs.
Mm-hmm.
Where they're going from there is they're putting Raekwon McMillan in the middle, and actually having number 8, the kid who's been here the longest, Jawan Bentley, moved out more of an outside, just the way they're playing. But you play so little base defense that these sub-package guys are very important. And Brian, not only a sub-package linebackers, but who are they considering what?
Yeah.
Is it Mac Wilson, Peppers, and Adrian Phillips, 3 o'clock as linebackers, but they're really safeties against passing teams like Buffalo? Very interesting. A lot of different pieces and a lot of different ways to look at how this defense can be formulated. What do you think, Sarah?
No, I agree. And I think that's kind of like the exciting part, because we don't know what's going to happen and how they're going to look. So the fact that they're able to kind of like rotate people in and test these things out, and they have some really great guys that they brought in this offseason, it just makes it a lot more exciting, because that's a big part that needs improvement. So the fact that they have enough depth and enough players that are able to be rotated and switched around, and they're looking pretty good. I'm excited, because looking back at their last game of the season against the Bills was not a fun time, and I would love to never have that happen again.
Yeah, at least we got good DoorDash that night. Thank God.
Yeah.
Kind of almost saved the night. Questions are coming in. Who can step up across from Judon? Jennings? Passing Uche? I have a thought on this. You go first.
I like Jennings, but I think we kind of talked about this on another one. We were saying, what were we saying? Like, Uche was going to be in for the early downs. Is that what we said? I can't remember what we were talking about, because I know that you like Jennings too, right?
I like Jennings early down because of the way he sets the edge, and he was that player at Alabama. I can remember him against my Auburn team picking off a pass because he stayed with the running back, setting the edge, and picked off a pass thrown right to him. He's got that kind of awareness. His rookie year, they were trying to play him in the middle. That's not what he is.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a good opportunity. My ideal thing, I want Barmore. I want Judon. I want Uche roaming around, finding a matchup. And I'd really like to see either Perkins or this undrafted free agent out of Purdue we had last week. And this kid was hammering it on special teams. And the name is escaping me. I'll look for it. But
Sam Roberts? Is it Sam Roberts? No.
No, Roberts is the Division II kid. 8 block kicks in college, which is absolutely off the charts.
I can't think of it.
No, pontificate. I'm locked into this now.
Okay.
Great radio, watching me look through. I can't remember a name.
It's like at the tip of my tongue, but I can't think of it.
Yeah, he was really good on special teams. Like I was like, Bill doesn't put a lot of defensive linemen on special teams if he's considered a defensive lineman or he's considered an edge. Or did he already get the Foxborough flu and they hit him?
Oh, I don't know.
No, he doesn't have the Foxborough flu.
Oh, okay.
Like they haven't hit him underneath the cinema with the rest of the people. They just keep in meetings. Yeah, no, his name isn't here. It's like he doesn't exist.
Oh, no. Okay, well, we'll think of it, I'm sure.
Yeah, eventually. If anybody can think of it. 97 he wore last week, and he was a beast on front. Brian Martin? Patriots defense was at its best with 2 hybrid linebackers.
Is that just in general, like last year, or are we talking in practice so far?
Yeah, Brian, if you want to expand on that, because that's something the Bills do. It's Milano and Trey Edmonds out there.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much every snap at linebacker.
This is random, but I'm just curious. How do you think the Bills are going to do this year? Because it seems like they're all in to try and make it all the way this year because, then they're over the cap next year. So they're going to have a lot to try and figure out. How do you think they're going to be able to maintain what they did last year?
Because they're absolutely freaking loaded. And a guy like Jamison Crowder, who a lot of people were like, wow, he's a prime free agent and a good fit to come in and take over that slot role for Cole Beasley, is barely getting on the field because of other guys like Shakir that they drafted.
Mm-hmm.
And we remember the Miles Bryant toasting last year for 11 catches.
Yeah.
In that game in Foxborough, that was definitely not so good. They're deep everywhere. And I think the thing that can hurt them most is reading their own press clippings, thinking that good, and not getting up every week. Because even last year, like the Atlanta game in the snow was competitive for a while. The Jets game was competitive for a while. They really do. They let teams hang around except us, and they were ready that night. And how to kill 13 seconds.
Yeah, I know. I appreciate that they're at least kind of making some jokes about it now too, because I'm like, instead of getting so angry about it, just joke with us, okay?
Yeah, we owned you for 20 years. Enjoy your moment.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the son finally beats dad at basketball. It's a big moment.
Yeah.
So he hit some shots. Brian also says the Bills will flame out by midseason like they did last year. Sorry, Brian.
I would love that. And that's the thing too that's funny is they actually didn't do as well last year as they did the year before. By the way, number 97, that's offensive line though. Okay. Yeah, they're saying it's
He's out of Purdue. He's out of Purdue.
Okay. I'm trying to look for it now too.
But I thought he was really good last week, and he's been getting press.
Let's see.
This guy's name. Seriously, the first $25 gift card may go to the person who comes up with this guy's name.
DeMarcus Mitchell.
Yes,
Okay.
DeMarcus Mitchell.
I was like, there's only two on the team. Bentley and Mitchell are both from Purdue. So I was like, obviously it's got to be the one with no picture.
Yep, DeMarcus Mitchell. Yeah, I enjoyed him last week.
They
Was it
have
the
him
Ray?
at number 64 on the Patriots website anyway.
Was it the Ray guy? No, but LeBron Ray was an interesting find last week. Him and Sam Roberts, they were getting really good push, and LeBron Ray is very versatile along the line, and
Yeah,
he makes some of those veterans expendable.
Yeah, they're saying he's like a dark horse. That's who a lot of people think are going to make the team for the undrafted guys this season.
I would have to say, yeah, those two guys. You know, if I hadn't seen the Lawrence guy possibly being Man of the Year award for New England, he's one of the guys I'd see on the outside looking in. I think Henry Anderson's looking for another job.
Oh, right now?
Yeah, like where do you think the defensive line, interior defensive line depth looks?
I think that there's probably going to be for more surprise cuts. Like I know people have talked about, like you were saying, Guy is probably not there. I mean, I don't know that he's a guy that they can't replace. And a lot of these younger guys are stepping up. And it's exactly what they need because, we've talked about it before. They need to get faster. And these guys are getting faster and they're able to hold their own. And they're not going to need to rely on some of these older guys. So I think, there's more of a competition there for sure. I'm trying to look at the roster here.
No, it wasn't Brendan Schooler, but I know he's having a good camp. But they're really deep at that safety position with guys who can play special teams.
Yeah. Let me see.
Another guy, while you're looking, see if Yadni Kajus is the starter at right tackle tonight. Because I think Isaiah Wynn's gone within the next couple of weeks.
I know. I was just going to say, what's going on with him? Other than dealing with another injury, I think. Isn't that what they said? That was an injury? I don't know.
Yeah, there's an injury going on. But
again.
Yeah. He has the most tradable contract on this whole team, with Jacoby Myers being second. And I want to say Lawrence Guy is third on that list. There's not a lot of dead cap. It's one of his last years.
Is this the fifth? Is this the fifth year or fourth year for Wynn?
This is fifth. He's on his fifth-year option. They didn't pick up Sony's. They picked up his.
Okay.
And he's 10.19, something along that line. Chicago is a team I'm looking at, possibly for him to go to right tackle. That'd be one. Or you see if there's an injury. There might be a team that maybe plugs him in at guard, gives him a 1-year tryout, has $10 million available on the cap, or an injury that they.
And he's unhappy with playing where he's at now, right? Isn't that something that they were saying?
Yep, right tackles don't make money. They move me to right tackle. Right tackles don't make money in free agency, which is BS. They do.
Yeah. I mean, I think, I understand the argument, but positions on the line are important. So finding guys that are reliable and can protect your quarterback, especially, it's important. So I can't imagine that they don't pay them. It seems kind of silly.
Yeah, and Kajus is a guy, he was out a couple of years with injury. Really good player at West Virginia. Kind of athletic for his size. You'd be impressed with how good he does move.
Yeah.
And, get outside. They're going to need to be more athletic with this new offense.
Yeah.
And that's something they've talked about. And Wynn was a guy who moved pretty well in college, not so much now. And the Cole Strange pick was because of his athleticism.
Yeah.
Isaiah Wynn was moved. He's not Isaiah Wynn. Moving on down to Tampa, protecting Brady. Shaq Mason.
Yes, yeah.
He's a little more athletic than you'd give him credit for.
I know a lot of people were upset with that trade.
Yeah, that was another one that freed up a lot of money, though. That was a position they could move guys in and out of. and make things happen.
Mhm.
You listen to E2G Sports live at the Airport Grille. Pats Panthers, 7 p.m. kickoff. Come out, sit at the tiki bar, watching a plane swirl around now, and just have a good night. Food, beverages, take care of your servers, and we'll be giving away two gift cards tonight. So we'll see what happens. All right. Here we go. All right. I like Guy, but he won a Super Bowl and a journeyman. Thought he may come back.
Mhm.
Again, it's a money issue. I mean, they
Yeah.
gotta have money to go through the whole season. If there's injuries and paying practice squad guys and all of
Yeah,
that.
and I think they're sitting at like 5.4 in cap right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so not
Miguel,
terrible, but they could use some more for sure.
and they didn't get his trade value.
Oh,
They
they're
didn't.
talking about Mason, I think.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I believe it was a 4th-round pick.
Yeah, which
Dumped
I think
$9
that's what
million.
fueled people's upset feelings even more. But, you know, I think that's why I try not to get like super attached to players in preseason, because once they start trading and cutting people, it just gets disappointing. So that's why I also do, I do it because I need to, but you know, I've said that I'm not familiar with college football, but I've written about a lot of players in the draft, and that got my hopes up for a lot of players this year, and then the Patriots didn't get any of them. So I hate doing that. I get my hopes up too easily.
Yeah, I know it's one of those things. Phil Perry, I believe it was last night. It was either him or Curran said
Mhm.
right now he thinks they hit a grand slam in this draft just with the players
Oh wow, really? That's a
that they
huge
brought
change
in.
from what they were all saying at first.
Oh yeah, it was like the worst one ever.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny how that works, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. My last time was the Wes Welker debacle. Never again. What debacle was that? Not re-signing him.
Mm.
That's from Brian Martin. Good riddance. He's 0-5 in Super Bowls. There's a reason for that.
Ugh.
He's got the loser
Or,
stench. He's got the Nomar Joe Thornton loser stench.
uh-oh.
Yep. Facts are facts. Not resigning. Oh, it was a good thing he didn't resign. Did Denver win a Super Bowl? Nope. Nope. But he had a big second half in a 28-0 game after a kick return. So, not a guy we miss.
Where is he now? He's in.
San Francisco, losing
Okay,
Super
that's what I
Bowls as a
thought.
wide receivers coach.
Yeah. Murph sent me a message, so I was making sure to answer him. He's sick.
Oh, yeah. We wish you the best, Murph. I talked to him a little while ago on the phone. I was like, dude, you need to sleep till like Monday.
Yeah.
Get up. He always gets it good, too. Like you said, he's the last one in the house usually to get sick. So he gets passed around.
Yeah.
So he's a trooper. So he'll be joining us on our Sunday mornings. It'll be the three of us and special guest. So we're excited for that. Do you want to talk about your show tomorrow? That was.
Oh yeah. So tomorrow, Hey Yo Foxborough will be live at 5:30 Eastern, and I will be joined by Tanya Ray Fox from Fox Sports. You probably have seen her on Twitter. So she will be there. It'll be a ladies show, which is very exciting. And we'll talk all about the game tonight, what we liked, what we didn't like, what was good, what wasn't good. And, you know, whatever else comes up between now and then, because a whole lot can happen in the next 24 hours. So make sure you check it out on the E2G Sports YouTube, my YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, anywhere that you can watch it. Come and chat with us.
Yeah, two ladies who know football. You're providing info right now for shows that are going to go on after us. So it's like, you're just doing a great job. Tonight, you're happy if?
I am happy if the offense looks good because that has been such a big concern from training camp. I just want to see that they have positive plays. I want to see the receivers gain separation because that's been a thing from training camp. I want to see the run game have something, even if it's not the entire game, even if it's, just when the starters are in, just something. I want to see the offensive line hold up. And I just want the defense to keep getting to the quarterback. We saw that a lot against the Giants. They were able to bring the pressure. I think they only got credited for 1 sack, but they were all over the quarterbacks all night long. So I really want to see that a lot tonight.
I'm happy if they hold them pretty low. With these 2 quarterbacks, they shouldn't be giving up a lot. I mean, there isn't a lot of tape on Matt Corral.
Yeah.
And the offense he ran at Ole Miss. So that's going to be a little different. That can be one of those things where he comes in the second half and maybe puts up 10 points for a touchdown drive right away. And, they get pulled over to the chalkboard and all figured out.
Yeah.
We got another question. Who do you see making the team to start the season? Like all 53 or like a surprise one?
I know you had to do probably a new updated roster projection because of well, you didn't have Butler. Did you have Butler making the team? You
didn't have Butler. I had
or
James
Williams.
July 27th article. Got a lot of hits. We had James White retiring. Me and Murph were told.
Okay. What about Jawan Williams though? Did you have him on your?
He may get an injury settlement and be gone. I did not have him on the team.
Oh, okay. So then your projections are still relevant then.
Yeah, I had Ty Montgomery. People are buying into that. Dalton Keene is the one I got to worry about.
Yeah.
I had him as the 3rd tight end, more of that U-check role.
Mm-hmm. That would be so good if they could figure that out. I wish that they could explore that. If he's healthy longer than 2 minutes, that would be great.
Yeah, put him in a bubble.
Yeah. I mean, it would be – can you imagine that they just have a bubble boy? He's just their bubble boy. And it's hey, it works. It's productive. Okay. It would be nice if they could figure that out. That I wrote about how good that could be for them, but I don't know if they're willing to explore that. I mean, that's a whole new thing that they would have to be doing. So I don't know if they want to add another big piece to this new offense, but it would be kind of a shame if they don't explore it at least a little bit. But we don't know. I don't think they've really said the severity of his injury or where he's at in his recovery. I mean, I think he was in the backfield during some of the camps last week, so there's not a whole lot of information on him right now.
A guy who's in the doghouse, Kendrick Bourne.
Yeah.
He's running with the 2s. Talked a lot about this offense. Do you think he's in the doghouse for as much info he gave out? And 2, all his YouTube videos, especially the one at Mac Jones' house for the draft.
I don't know. I know that I wouldn't be surprised if Wednesday he may have been I know he was with the 2s to start on Wednesday, and then they brought him back over to the starters, which could be repercussions from fighting the day before. So I wouldn't be surprised about that. He wasn't a camp standout last year either. So that's why it's okay, maybe this is just par of the course. This is just how it is with him. He's just not that guy. So I think that's one reason I'm eager to watch the receivers tonight. I want to see how much they have him involved specifically, because obviously he was the number 2 guy last year. He was not far behind Jacoby. So we know what he's capable of. We know the chemistry that he already has with Mac. So I'm curious. I don't know if all that other stuff has anything to do with it. But it seems like there has to be something, right? Because it just seems off. You don't have that production from him last year. You don't have him being the number 2 guy to then not be using him at all.
You're watching Ear to the Ground Sports live from the Airport Grille in New Bedford. Fill it up in here. Bringing you Pats at Panthers at Pats live, 7 p.m. We'll have some gift card giveaways for some trivia. His third eye blind comes on in the background. Can you hear that?
Yes.
Okay, all right. That's something we got to turn down. Really good point here. This Mac Jones to be cut. And what I think they can do, I think this is going to happen. You're very right, Achy Breaky Heart, or Cards, or whatever you are. I think they're going to cut him. I also think they're going to trade Bailey. And I think Drew Bledsoe is going to be back as quarterback.
Okay.
With Tony Eason as the backup. What do you think?
I mean, I feel like, we have that inner circle knowledge. So this is breaking news. But
yeah,
yes, that's going to be what's happening, guys. So you heard it here first.
I thought he'd move to tight end, but that's just me. But
I mean,
Mac Jones will be cut. Achy Breaky Cards.
Mm-hmm. Like I said, you heard it here first, guys.
See, your internet.
Make sure you credit.
Give him the credit. You're going to be disappointed tonight if.
Basically, if everything I said I would be happy about doesn't happen. I'll be disappointed if the offense just doesn't look good overall. If they're not able to make anything positive happen, seeing the starters out, they had a pretty good practice this week from what was reported. So I'd like to see them build upon that, especially as they're getting closer and closer to the regular season. If they're still looking disjointed, then that's going to be super disappointing. And I think especially I want to keep seeing the offense doing as well as they have been in camp. I want to see that continue, because if the offense isn't going to look so great, if that's what we're going to have to deal with, then I'd like at least the defense to continue to be really good and get to quarterbacks and maybe make some plays from that, because they're going to need it. So, I think those top two things for sure.
All right, DeMarcus Mitchell.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think now that we know who he is? Another one of the Purdue group. You've had Rosie. You've had Ninkovich.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of buy into that program and that position.
Yeah, I mean, that would be great. I mean, now that I know his name and I'm going to pay attention to him more this week, because you said he looked great last week. So I'm going to remember that name forever now.
I just like that he was playing special teams and going down there and just crushing people as a D lineman.
Yeah. Well,
Bill doesn't do that stuff.
Yeah, and we talked about how the special teams has been the one of the more problematic areas. So if they're able to find a hidden gem that they can use that dominates on special ends, and that makes me feel good.
Because Ronnie Perkins is another guy who is not getting the best of reviews. They still think he looks kind of small.
Yeah, I know. I think a lot of people were hoping to hear a lot of good about him in training camp, and he's been really quiet. He's been very under the radar, not really a lot of anything about him, which is not good.
Yeah, especially a year of the Foxborough flu and living underneath the cinema.
Yeah.
You thought he would have learned a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
But I watch his...
Yeah, we'll wait. My wife is still looking.
If you want to come for a second.
Hmm?
Ronnie Perkins, you just said about Ronnie Perkins.
Yeah.
Cameron McGrone guy tonight. I think he's going to prove himself kind of on special teams tonight.
Yeah, I think I know that he's not. It's funny because it feels like it depends on the week how people are feeling about him. It felt like at first that people were really excited and really high on him and saying he was standing out, and then it was like the next week it was like, okay, what's going on with him? He's disappointing. So I feel like we're kind of like in the middle with what's going on with him. I mean, I think I talked about how someone had him, I think it was him that got cut in their roster projection. So it seems like he's kind of just floating in the middle somewhere. So we're going to need to see something where he can solidify himself somewhere, whether that's on defense, that's on special teams, something. We need to see something from him. Being in the gray area isn't going to push you, to the team. If anything, it's more likely to get you off. So
I agree with you there. So the further guy, like I said, that Tavaye guy, linebacker,
Mm-hmm.
he's here until he may be 50 and never played a game.
Yeah.
Just because Matt Patricia wants to prove he was right to Detroit on that player.
And he was injured, but he's fine now, right? Or is he still missing time?
He's back. He was back.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that's kind of the off-the-ball linebacker crew. Joshua Bledsoe, another guy we haven't hit on, Missouri.
Mm-hmm.
They're saying he might run with the ones tonight. What would
I know,
that say for the?
And that's something I was interested in too. I think I wrote that in my notes. I'm interested to see who they choose to run with the ones. I feel like that's going to be something to watch at the beginning because that'll kind of give us a little bit more insight into Belichick's brain of where he's seeing rookies or some of these younger guys or maybe some more of these under the radar players. I feel like that's going to be super intriguing to watch and kind of just give you a better idea of the direction that the team is going in. So that's why I'm like, the defense, especially the secondary, whoever's going to line up with Mills and even the linebackers, it's I don't know. This is why I said it's just like the entire team is going to be really fun to try and watch tonight. Just looking and seeing where everybody goes and who's in at what time. Like that's going to be really fun.
Yeah, no, it definitely is. It's just, the parts of preseason that you like and part of the roster projection makes it very fun.
Yeah.
I'm just making sure. Oh, I got to catch up with comments. I'm sorry. Sorry, people.
Stay back there. My cat is trying to make an appearance at the end because why wouldn't she?
Jenny.
Oh, hi, Jenny.
Who this is.
It's just like
and
a little.
What that means.
I don't know. Jenny's in Alaska. So that's pretty cool.
Oh, nice. All right.
I know.
We'll
She's
expand
a big
to the
fan in
49th
Alaska.
state.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's so cool. Do they have a fan club out there?
I don't know.
Jenny, if you want to let us.
I know. Let us know, Jenny, if you're still here.
So, just some announcements of some things coming up. You said the show there will be adding a lot more podcasts to the stream and to the channel and the group and writers. And if you've been seeing lately, Obi Trotter writing, he's a professional basketball player overseas, writing like 3 articles a week. Not necessarily NBA, just to tell you about Obi, and I hope he's watching. His high school championship game in Alabama, he was the quarterback, and the other quarterback was Jamarcus Russell.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so
cool.
He played at a pretty high level and ended up taking the basketball scholarship and going to Alabama A&M, and he's been playing 15 years overseas basketball.
Imagine being good at multiple sports. I can't relate.
Like I look at Chris Jericho, you're a great wrestler and a rock star. Like, how is that fair to the rest of us? Like,
I know. Leave something for the rest of us to be good at.
Yeah, this isn't fair,
Oh, and Jenny said it's her and her dad. That's the fan club. So
that's good.
It looks like
that's two.
A small fan club, but it's a start,
It's prospect. They all start small. It's a good
They
thing
can be
to
the
read,
unofficial members or the officially unofficial long distance members of the Arizona fan club for the Patriots. How about that?
Yeah, that's the other aspect we wanted to talk about. You can be there any Sunday you want.
I know that was super cool because I've never been there. So
open the doors, welcome us in. We'll be doing the Sunday, December 11th. You and I pregame broadcast for the Sunday game. We'll go small event, and then we'll do a Pat show early in the day so we can go over and tailgate and get in the stadium and be ready to go.
I'm excited.
Yeah, you did see what that week is now. How it's even grown.
Did you see the Celtics are going to be there too?
December 7th.
I know. I'm like, what is happening? Why is this? All of this is around the same time, which is great, but not great at the same time. But
so December 7th, the Celtics are at Phoenix. December 9th, the Bruins are at the Coyotes. December 12th, Pats at Cardinals. So invading Arizona. And this
Yeah.
is the one that really caught my eye, and I already looked at all the elements of it. December 13th, Celtics at Lakers.
Oh wow.
Like,
I didn't see that one.
that's kind of like a bucket list one.
Oh,
So,
and watching it at it's not Staples anymore, right?
Yeah,
It's something
yeah,
else,
what-
but it's Staples.
yeah, it's always the Staples Center.
It's funny.
Uh,
I've only been to Staples Center for wrestling events for
How
SummerSlam.
is the place?
I like it. I feel like it's pretty easy to get in and out of. I mean, I always went for SummerSlam, and I went after SummerSlam Access, where they shut down the street like behind it, so the whole street is closed and whatever. But it was always easy for us to get in and out of. So, and you can walk and like anywhere if you stay like at a hotel nearby. It's just like just walk. It's just a lot easier.
It's a good
trying to-
area.
Yeah, I mean, and so many people are walking. So, and there's quite a few hotels that are within a few blocks, so it's not, difficult. And at that time of the year, you don't have to worry about sweating your butt off. So,
December? Well, yeah, you do when you live here.
oh yeah,
You're adapted.
yeah. Well, thankfully by December, it's not going to be it'll be, I don't know, 60s, 70s maybe.
So are you running double TVs tonight?
For what?
SmackDown
Wrestling?
and
Oh no, I'll record SmackDown and watch it later.
no, you said you wanted to talk about it. I'll give you a few minutes here. Your
Oh,
wrestling.
I was gonna ask because the women's tag team tournament is continuing tonight, and they had one NXT tag team that they were gonna have on there. It was gonna be Nikita Lyons and Zoe Stark, and I'm assuming that it's storyline. I can't say for sure, but they had Shawn Michaels announce that both of them will not be participating tonight. They were supposed to have their match, but they said Zoe got injured in her match on Tuesday at Heatwave, and that Nikita is not medically cleared. So they're having the Toxic Attraction girls fill in for them, and I like that a whole lot better. I think it makes more sense. It's not a random tag team that they put together. It's two girls that have been a tag team, been two-time NXT Women's Tag Champions. It makes more sense for them to be involved.
Yeah, are they gonna find a way to get someone other than Roman as champion soon?
I'm hoping so. People think that he might be dropping it at Clash at the Castle because they're going to be in Wales, and he's facing Drew McIntyre, who of course is going to be the biggest babyface on the entire planet there. Roman has to be booed out of that building. But now that they're bringing in Karrion Kross as like a third part of that feud or whatever, it's going to be interesting because they have to split it. Supposedly in September, they're doing like another draft for the shows. So I'm like, you have to split it. If Roman's not going to be on Raw and SmackDown, then you have to split the titles because it makes no sense at this point.
And we look at Roman, Georgia Tech player, Brock Lesnar, wrestled at Minnesota, played a little while for the Vikings. These guys jump over.
Yeah, Baron Corbin was on the Colts.
Oh, all right. How long ago are we talking there?
His rookie year is the same as McAfee, so that's why that's like part of their storyline was that they've known each other since their rookie years. They were roommates, so their beef goes back so far. So whatever year McAfee was a rookie, then that's the year. I don't know off the top of my head.
Yeah, I don't either. Don't pay much attention to punters. He's funny. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, no, he's a great commentator, but yeah, I'm like, that was kind of an interesting level to their storyline.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. Yeah, just as we wrap up here, so looking to the other side when the band goes live. They've been nice enough not to even hit any instruments so far. It's going to be comfortable watching the game and listening to music. It's just hot in here, but we'll figure that all out. We're at the Airport Grille, New Bedford Airport, the one and only one in New Bedford. We don't have 8 of them. It's not New York City. Come on down. Outside dining, inside dining, live band, the game at 7, a little bit of everything, and a great staff. And thanks to Troy for everything, and Joe and Rafi. They do a great job here. It's good when people keep their word about what they're going to do for you.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really
Are
a
we on
good
the
feeling.
screens tonight too, or no?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. The only reason we're only on a couple,
Yeah.
but the reason being is there was an explosion like 12 miles from here, maybe, of
wow.
a boat, like a boatyard
Mm-hmm.
in Mattapoisett, where I went to high school. And they're rolling in fire trucks from everywhere. The Channel 5 copter landed here a little while ago to refuel and get back up there. So we've seen some helicopters land over here.
Oh,
So
wow.
it's been an interesting day in this area. People were asking why. Matter of fact, it's on the TV now. They're doing a live shot. The channel after getting fuel. The reason they hit this airport is because it's cheaper than Nantucket or Martha's Vineyard to get fuel.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
good for them. They should come in, enjoy a drink and some food with us, and we'll wrap up. So I don't know. I don't do score predictions for the preseason. There's no reason to.
Yeah, I don't either. I'm
awful,
terrible
but-
at score predictions
we
no matter
will-
what, though.
Yeah, so we're not going to do score predictions. Big games tomorrow. Your show tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
We'll be back rolling through everything Monday with our 4 shows on Monday.
Including
and
me.
Get things going. We got appearances. Yes. Be on twice in 3 days. And the fantasy stuff's going to be leaking out over the next couple of days. So all the work that we've done, great job by Glenn, Zach, Shay all day, the whole crew that's participated. Just great work. We've got some good rankings and stuff for you like we always do. So for Sarah in beautiful Arizona, I'm Buddy here at the Airport Grille. Come on down, win a gift card, enjoy some food and drinks and a great staff. And we will talk to you on the other side. Remember again, what time tomorrow, Sarah?
5:30 Eastern.
Hey, yo. You got to say it right, though. You got to do it.
Oh. Hey, yo.
Yeah, hey, yo, Foxborough. And people who are wrestling fans catch on to that. 5:30 tomorrow. So it'll be a great show. Good following. Thank you very much for today. Getting me through this. It's been an interesting day. And we'll see you on the other side. Remember, we are E2G Sports, the unsung sports grid. Have yourself a good night.